Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. The crypto market has been dropping over the last 24 hours, especially in the early hours of today, and XRP right along with it. And it's been just enough of a drop to have a lot of people showing tremendous fear on social media, even though I'd argue in the scheme of things, this isn't that big of a drop, frankly. Look, let me just tell you this at the outset. I'm not here to tell you whether or not XRP and the rest of the crypto asset class will go up or down in the short term. Instead, I'm here to tell you that either way, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't make logical sense to have fear here. And I'm going to articulate why. So what I'll do is I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to try and keep this as straight to the point as possible. I kind of put this together in an impromptu fashion when I saw people complaining on the internet, basically, because I don't want you guys to be fearful if you don't need to be. So what I'm going to do here is just I'm going to throw some data at you, drop the science on you. I'm going to share with you some of my own personal opinions here, and if you think I'm wrong, that's just fine, but just know that that means you're actually wrong. All right. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it is 7:26 a.m. Central Time on Monday, December 9th, 2024. XRP is at $2.42, but it did, from the bottom to the top, and price-wise over the last 24 hours, it went from $2.64 all the way down to $2.36. So a 31% drop, that's not nothing. I mean, that was most of what XRP was worth a little over a month ago, right? So that would just be gone. It shows you how much we progressed since then, though. But let me start by highlighting this, because look, the short-term stuff doesn't matter, and I'll show you exactly why I firmly believe that we're in alt season. We are in the midst of a highly consequential bull run in a very positive way, I mean, of course. And XRP is behaving in a particularly normal way. You should expect this to happen here. So even just looking at the all-time chart for XRP, going back to 2014 here, you can, let me just point out a couple things. XRP has had, in each of the last couple cycles, two major bursts, okay? So look back here. You can look back to May of 2017 here, when XRP ultimately got up to 42 cents or so, and then it went back down, and it moved sideways for about half a year, and then it had another major burst, and then it had a sticky run, the most famous run, all the way up to almost $4 here, and then it did crash back down, went into a bear market along with the rest of the crypto asset class. And similar thing happened actually last market cycle in November of 2020, just 4 years ago here. XRP was worth about 25 cents, somewhere around there. Then in early November started running, and it ultimately, it doesn't show it on this chart, it got up to, it wicked above like 80 cents, which means it closed the day here at 61 cents on like December 5th, for example. And it's not picking up every single data point, but I know that it did get up around there, and then it pulled back, and then we know what happened with the SEC, which kind of messed up the cycle. But even then, it still had a second move to the upside, and it ultimately did hit actually $2. That's a big move, considering that it was under attack by the SEC. So the fact that we've had this move to this point, going from about 49 cents a little over a month ago to a recent high of $2.90, doesn't mean that we can't continue in the short term, even if there's going to be pullback this week. Say it goes even lower. Okay, it doesn't mean in the very short term we can't necessarily hit an all-time high like that quickly. It actually could, and I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying those types of things can happen. And then who knows? Maybe it means that we have to consolidate for X number of weeks or months past that, and maybe if history is to rhyme with itself, a few months down the road, then we have another major burst, and who knows? Maybe that's a blow-off top past $10. I'm telling you straight up, I do not know, but based on historic precedent and understanding that history does tend to rhyme with itself, it doesn't make sense to have these pullbacks. Imagine if you were there in 2017, you saw XRP pop from half a penny to 42 cents, only to go back below, at some point, a little below 20 cents. You might have been freaking the hell out, right? But then it went to almost $4. You're living through one of those types of moments right now, and what I'm telling you is this is normal, and that's why it pays to have conviction in crypto, and specifically in XRP. And I sure as hell do. Crypto very clearly is here to stay. XRP very obviously is one of the winners. The world is telling you that by the fact that it has kept XRP in the top 10 coins by market cap for its entire existence. And Bitcoin, by the way, in this most recent drop, Bitcoin led this. Bitcoin got as low as $98,071. At the time I'm recording this, it's a little shy of 99,000, so it's bumped up a little bit. It's got a 21-hour high of $101,252. But the whole asset class went down. Like, we just have a sea of red right now. And not that the percentage drops are like ridiculous, certainly not for crypto anyway. I mean, yeah, in traditional finance, you see these percentage drops 7, 8, 9%. You'd be like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Not in crypto. That can happen in like 2 seconds, man. It's really not a big deal at all. And so let's drive the point home even further, though, because there's additional data that you should be aware of that should cause you to not freak out. Take a look at this. And I understand nothing's a guarantee in life, and sometimes new things for the first time happen. I get that. But typically, humans keep behaving the same, more or less, in these market cycles, and that instills confidence in me that this thing ain't over. The best is yet ahead this cycle, and XRP has proven it's a part of it. So take a look at this, because Bitcoin leads the market. You need to be aware of this. This is a post from chart analyst Dr. Magic. This is the chart titled Bitcoin Value Days Destroyed, or VDD, Multiple. And he wrote the following. Just imagine thinking we print a cycle top like this. Memorize accounts that are calling for tops or that we are near the top, and see how in a few months they will say they called the melt up. When they do, clown them until you get blocked. Okay, so what is he actually highlighting here? Well, he's sharing a screen grab from the Bitcoin Magazine Pro website here. And what he's showing here is a chart. Again, it's value days destroyed multiple. And here's all you need to know about this without getting too into the weeds. Let me just read a small bit of this and flesh out what this is. And this is another metric you should be aware of, which should give you confidence that we are not at the top. And the reason I'm highlighting this, even if you only hold XRP or altcoins, like, Bitcoin leads the market, right? And so what will happen is eventually Bitcoin will top, and there will be very clear indicators when Bitcoin is reaching that level. Even though in the moment we won't know the exact day when it's topping, you'll know when it's close. And historically, what has happened is, altcoins, alt season will be happening perhaps around the same time. At the same time, for instance, in 2017, a couple days or so before Bitcoin hit its top, XRP started running, and then Bitcoin topped, and then a couple weeks or so after that, XRP hit its cycle top. And so the timing doesn't have to be exactly like that necessarily. But what I'm saying is, that's the type of thing that can happen. You can have alt season persist for over a month past that. There were coins in 2018 after Bitcoin topped in January, and I believe even in February, that were hitting new highs. And so the reason I highlight that, though, is if Bitcoin's topping, it's more likely than not the case that the altcoins, probably most of them, are going to be topping after that, right? That's the reason I'm highlighting this for you. It's an indicator in terms of rough timing, right? And so anyway, here's what they wrote here. Value Days Destroyed Multiple, VDD, aims to identify when the price of Bitcoin may be becoming frothy and close to topping out at major cycle highs. It uses the principle of coin days destroyed. Coin days destroyed is a proxy for spending velocity that gives extra weighting to coins that have not moved on-chain for longer periods of time. So let's just condense this down so that it's super easy to understand without getting too into the weeds, although you can if they go to their website. They'll show you exactly how they calculate everything. All you need to know is that what it's calculating here when it says value days destroyed, it's how long have coins that have been idle on the blockchain sat there, and then finally they move at a particular point. And so when you see these coins moving, you know what that probably means? It means that there are people that have very strong conviction here for Bitcoin. Perhaps they held their coins in a single address for years and years and years on end, but finally the price gets so high during these blow-off periods in terms of price against the United States dollar, whatever the fiat currency of choice is, it becomes worth so much where finally even the strongest holders are like, okay, well, this is now life-changing if I cash it out. Let's just go ahead and take some profits, right? And so when those coins start to move, you see these spikes here. And so usually when they're moving them, they're probably, frankly, moving their Bitcoin to an exchange to sell it. And so that's when you get these red spikes here. And when there's less of that activity, it gets orange. And when there's even less of that activity, it gets into the green here. And these are the boring periods, right? That's exactly what's happening here. And so you can see how it's in the green, especially in 2022 leading up to the FTX collapse, and then it spiked a little bit, I'm sure, as people are all doing all sorts of activities, panicking, this and that, then went back down into the green here. But so here's what I want to note. Like, you see where if you're looking at the screen, you see where you have these red spikes. They're happening, not exclusively, but they have always happened at cycle tops. always they have occurred at cycle tops. So you can take a look, for example, last cycle here at where are we looking? It's moving around. Okay, so you can see as we were getting close to this, that it was into the red. So you're talking about in this point it was January of 2021, and so that's when Bitcoin started to ramp up, and not surprising you'd see that. And then what happened after that? So it can cool down a little bit, and then you get into the orange here, right? But it's the same thing. It's the same thing that happened in the 2017 cycle. So right here, here's the tail end of 2017. You can see same thing, lots of activity. So obviously lots of people taking profit, and then it fell off. Now you can have other instances where there are these big spikes when it's not the cycle top. So that in and of itself, of course, doesn't necessarily mean that it's the cycle top. For example, the most recent one, obviously, look at this big red spike that we had earlier this year. So I'm sure that would be March of this year. You know how hot Bitcoin got then, and then we had a cooling off period for over half a freaking year. So that didn't necessarily mean the top, but that's not the part that matters. The part that matters is we've never seen a cycle top without this first happening. And so with Bitcoin heated up to as much as it has, increasing dramatically in price after the election in November, yet we're not seeing even more of these spikes. Isn't that kind of telling to you? We haven't seen that yet. So, it's just one more metric you can look at. Once we see that, then it doesn't mean we know right then is the cycle top. Maybe the cycle's going to persist for another month, or who knows? Who knows how long it's going to be? But until we see something closer to that and then the red, unless history is going to be for the first time different, then we're not at that point yet. So yes, it can peak after that, but I'm telling you, we haven't had the red part yet. And similarly, like you had more than one red spike for the 2 cycles ago. So like I just highlighted, the one in late 2017. Yeah, big red spike here. But there was also one earlier in 2017. Look at this. As Bitcoin was popping up, and I'm sure all sorts of people were like, okay, time to move our Bitcoin that's been sitting around for who knows, maybe years and years, and then finally selling it. So that's what it's showing here. We're not there yet. So unless you think for the first time in history, this time is different, what are you flipping out about? It's one more thing to look at. We are not there yet. This time is not different. This is just data. So, I mean, unless you were to actually make the argument, this is the first time in history where we're not going to have one of these big red candles here. I know they're not literally candles, but this big red jump up here to lead us ultimately into a bear market after that. Unless you think it's the first time in history that's happening, I doubt it. I mean, fine, I could leave open a small percentage chance it's technically possible. Is that something to be afraid of? I don't think so. I certainly don't think so. Here's another thing that you should be aware of. Bitcoin dominance. This is the market cap Bitcoin dominance percentage chart. Where are we at right now? Bitcoin dominance, it's at 55%. So look back a couple cycles ago. Look at how high it was back then. Now, of course, I don't know that Bitcoin's ever going to get this high again, but there's way too many coins now for this to happen. But yeah, it used to be at 95. I mean, there was a time when it was 100%, obviously, because it was the only coin. But you can look, even the beginning of 2017 at 95% dominance. But you can see what happened as time passed. It lost dominance, and I mean, by the time you get to the end of the cycle, really, you're talking about December and January 2017. I mean, look, the dominance got as low as about 35%. Now that's a good sign. So as the dominance goes down, the price of Bitcoin can keep going up, as I've been talking about that a lot lately. And that's good because that means people are taking profits from it, even though the price is going up. And it just means that you're having an alt season. Money's being thrown into altcoins. So Bitcoin dominance goes down, altcoin dominance goes up. But you see how much of a drop there was? And so now look at the last cycle. So of course, Bitcoin, never got back up to the same type of 90+% peak. Not surprising. Again, there's way more coins now. The asset class is evolving, maturing, so on and so forth. But you can see even in December of 2020, several years ago, it was at what? About 70% roughly. Okay, well then what happened? It cratered down ultimately as alt season took over, especially by April and May. It looks like it got down to what? Somewhere around, I don't know exactly what the bottom was, 39, 40%, something like that. Maybe it got a little bit lower at times. But then it climbed back up as we got out of the bear market. Because we had bear market, it climbed out of the bear market, right? And then Bitcoin dominance now recently was up above 60%. Now it started to drop, and this is one of the indicators so many analysts have looked at to say, hey, we are now in alt season. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. Altcoins are taking off. Breadth is opening up. The Russell 2000 with stocks. That's another thing that always happens in tandem with all of this. That's going to fantastic. So what I'm showing you is we've never had a market cycle where Bitcoin the dominance just doesn't drop, and then that's the end of it. We're just not going to have an alt season. Like there's nothing. That would be the first time in history. So again, it's another metric you should be aware of. It just tells you, okay, if history's gonna kind of rhyme with itself, then no, we're not over. And fine, I'll leave over open a small percentage chance. This is the first time in history. Okay, fine. But let's talk in terms of probability. What is actually likely based on historic precedent? What's likely is that this is just a little pullback here. It's not even a particularly big one, and people are still flipping out. That's why I'm making this video. I hope this helps you. You know, I don't know what's best for you in terms of buying and selling. That's not the point of it, but I'm just sharing some honest thoughts with you. And having been here for 7 years, I've been through all this. I don't think that this is near the end. I mean, in terms of timeline, yeah, maybe it could be 3, 4, 5, 6 months, but in terms of the moves, no, we're not near the end. There are a lot of major moves that need to happen before we're at the end or close to the end. We're not there yet. Dominance for Bitcoin is going to drop way, way, way more, and altcoins are going to go way, way, way up, and XRP is going to be a part of that. So what I will tell you is, no matter how much XRP drops this month, whatever short-term range you want to look at, it doesn't matter. I firmly believe that. I will not be freaking out in the least, because it is normal, and it's designed to shake people out. That's what it does. I don't care if XRP drops down to $2 or $1.50 or $1.30. I don't care. I will continue to hold. You know, I just as I held, when XRP dropped all the way down to 10 cents in March of 2020 during the pandemic, I just held. In fact, as it was approaching that, I wasn't able to purchase the actual bottom. You never really can. I mean, it's super rare. But I was able to purchase as low as 15 cents, and I did so very happily and with glee. And I talked about it on my channel at the time when I did that in March of 2020. I was very excited. That's the cheapest I ever got to buy XRP in my entire life. And now here we are, and it ran up to $2.90. You think I'm going to be flipping out if it goes down to even $1.30 or whatever? Who knows? No, no. Just like I didn't flip out when it went down to 10 cents. It was an opportunity, okay? Because I have very strong conviction for tons of reasons in terms of the long-term viability of XRP, which I'm not getting into in this video. That's outside the scope of this video. But because I have that conviction and the conviction of the asset class here to stay, yes, to me, those have always been opportunities. Here's a post from chart analyst Mustache. This is the market cap tether dominance percentage chart, and he wrote hashtag altcoins. And this is just from early this morning, 2:54 a.m., just several hours or so ago. He says, in case you are wondering why it corrects something, tether dominance has achieved some support. Don't forget that the tether dominance has broken a 3-year trend line. The target is far from being reached, meaning altcoins and Bitcoin will pump higher. Dips are for buying. Spot on, Mr. Mustache. And he also shared this post at 7:03 a.m. This morning. Hashtag altcoins. This dump is necessary so that the rotation of Bitcoin into altcoins can take place. After that, your bags will pump at a level last seen 4 or 8 years ago, in my opinion. Patience. Spot on. So this is somebody that's been here a while, and he gets this. He's been in crypto since 2015, 146,800 followers on X for a reason. He gets it. Anybody that's been here for more than 5 seconds gets it. Now, nobody is necessarily perfect at this because we are all human, but that's why I'm making this video, to try and to just add some perspective to this. You do whatever you think is best for you, that's fine. Even if that's selling, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. You do whatever you think is best for you. I'm just telling you that I think what's most probable, though I admit I cannot know for sure, is that by a lot, I just have the strong conviction that this market goes way higher, and also XRP hits a new all-time high, enters price discovery. I just can't tell you what happens in the short term. I just believe that on the whole, if you let enough time pass, that's directionally where we go. And it's certainly been true to this point. Here's a post from Charting Guy. Said, good morning, everyone. Another day of going shopping for alts. And this is just a couple hours ago we posted this. Remember, kids, dips in bull markets are for buying, not crying. Stay positive and appreciate the opportunities always. Yeah, and so he's been in crypto for a hot minute as well, and so he gets it. That is the right perspective. That is the right attitude about this. This is not a time to be afraid. And you know what? Even if For the first time, we enter a bear market before all these metrics get where you would have expected them. You know the cool part is? Markets rebound, even if it takes years. So you know what I'd do if for the first time that happens? I'd do nothing. I'd continue to hold all of my crypto, and then in a bear market, frankly, I'd probably buy even more. And then when the market rebounds, even if it takes a few years, then it's going to be worth that much more. And I still won't care, and I'll still win. You just have to have the proper mindset, and you have to have a proper time horizon, and you can make this work. There really is an opportunity for life-changing wealth. Just don't screw it up for yourself. Here's a post from Dark Defender. This is from December 5th, a few days ago. He said, "Hi all, we have identified the $2.92 and $2.13 range as the primary Fibonacci levels where we touched $2.17 today. The correction is still in play for XRP, where we can have a double tap and proceed with wave B in the daily time frame. It might take a couple of days to get rid of the structure. I will update you further." Okay, and so a little bit of a warning here. And so he ended up reposting that just a little bit before I started recording. This is at 7:14 a.m. And now as I record this, it's currently 7:46 a.m. So about a half hour ago. He posted this, reposted what I just shared with you, and wrote the following in this new post. "The correction is in play for XRP. Nobody likes it when we warn, but it was the truth. This is entirely normal. The good news is that I expect the run to continue after this correction is over." Spot on. So again, anybody that's been here for more than 5 seconds gets this. So you're not bad or stupid or anything if you got a little fearful. You're just a normal human, and that's okay. But that's why I'm sharing the information and the experience that I've lived through the last 7 years to tell you that I don't think you really need to be afraid here, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. If you want to feel like it makes sense to be fearful for whatever reasons you believe, okay, go ahead. I'm not fearful. I don't think that makes logical sense. Here's a post that was funny that you got to look at your screen on this one. This is from James Rule XRP, and I've seen a ton of people sharing this, but I do like every time I see this, I stop and I just kind of chuckle a little bit. He wrote here, "I am literally laughing out loud at this image." And for those of you not looking, I'll just note that it's this green bar. It's a chart line. The chart's not labeled, doesn't matter. Up, 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 way, way, way up. And then this tiny little bit of red going down. And then there's this cat just like, like meowing out like in anger because it's going down. What's wrong? Why is it going down? So that's what it says here. Why is it going down? I think it's a funny meme. I like this. It just illustrates up, 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 oh, so throw. And then just the tiniest little thing happened. Today's even a big drop. I've seen way worse than this. And people are flipping out. If that's how you perceive this stuff, you ain't going to make it probably. Here's a post from Stock Money Lizards. Hashtag Bitcoin, hashtag altcoins. Emotions versus reality. And so you can see red candle on the left, what it looks like to you. And then here's on the right, it's the same concept as the meme. That's the reason the meme exists. It's the Bitcoin USD chart. Going back to, it's, I guess, halfway through 2023 roughly, showing how we've risen, and then look at that. That's us. That's where we are right here today. See, if you're looking, see that little camera right there? What it looks like in real life. That's what Stock Money Lizards is pointing out. Up, 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 up. And then today is this, and you feel emotions. Stop feeling the emotions. Use logic, data, and reason to tell yourself that it's stupid, STOOPID, stupid, to have these scary emotions in your body. It doesn't, it really, I'm just being honest with you, it doesn't make sense. I understand why you feel them, but that's why I'm trying to load you up with some data and some historical perspective so that you realize, once you're armed with the knowledge, that you don't need to be scared. And that's the thing. It's like when people are scared about things in life, a lot of the times, and not exclusively, but a lot of the times, it's because, the fear, it's stemming from the fact that you don't know what's going to happen, right? It's a lack of knowledge. That's why I'm trying to arm you with knowledge and historical perspective so that you don't have to feel those things. And then there's also this post from Michael Saylor, bought a whole bunch more Bitcarns, the Bitcarns here. Look at this. This is at 7:04 a.m. on this day where Bitcoin's apparently scaring people and crypto scaring people. MicroStrategy has acquired 21,550 Bitcoin for $2.1 billion at $98,783 per Bitcoin and has achieved Bitcoin yield of 43.2% quarter to date and 68.7% year to date. As of December 8th, 2024, we hodl 423,650 Bitcoin acquired for $25.6 billion at $60,324 per Bitcoin. So that's what it comes out to. And so I admire this. Now, I don't like that he's a toxic Bitcoin maximalist. That's stupid as hell. But I admire the conviction that he has in something that he believes in. And so I will just tell you this. That's the level of conviction that I've had with my XRP, having never sold a single XRP in my life. I genuinely have that conviction here. So there's no secret to what I'm doing. Like, I genuinely believe what I'm saying. Like, that there's no trick around. If I didn't believe it, I'd be freaking out too. But I genuinely believe it. Right or wrong, I believe it. And sometimes, look, I admit, like, sometimes people can have strong conviction, they can be wrong. Okay, well, then if I'm it, then maybe I lose everything and it goes to zero. I sure as hell do not for a split second believe that. I've armed myself with too much knowledge and data and all that, and I've thought through it sufficiently. Not at all. But so what I'm showing you is, like, even just on an anecdotal level, like, just me as a tiny piece of this, a tiny, tiny piece of this. I've been taking this strategy as well. Price go up, price go down, doesn't matter, I hold. I will sell when I'm enticed. And I know Michael Saylor, his strategy is literally, he says he will never sell. Okay, fine. Although they did sell technically, MicroStrategy did. That was for tax purposes. But set that aside. I get what he's saying. That's fine. Still respect it. I will sell when it becomes a sufficiently outsized portion of my net worth. That I will sell. Absolutely. But it has taken all of this and going through it and having this conviction that it goes up. And I'm telling you, I've been through way, way, way worse than this in terms of volatility and the uncertainty with the SEC lawsuit. And if you think that whatever the hell this little blip is today is going to shake me out of my XRP position, you can just get out, okay? Like, that is not happening. And so I admire the conviction. He knows what he's doing here. So you guys let me know what you think all about that. Maybe there's a long way of just saying, chill, brah. Just like chill. Should I just have a video? I should be like, chill, bro. It's all good. I could have had like a 10-second video. I could have just done that. Done one of those YouTube shorts things, which I've never done before. So anyway, everything. Look at the numbers already go. Look at number go up now. Bitcoin $99,000, XRP $2.44. The world is here. Now, I don't know what the price will be by the time you watch this. Maybe it does tank further. Maybe it goes up. Either way, I hope this information has been useful to you and helped you so that next time when this inevitably does happen again in the future and there is a dip, because it will happen, think about this video and be like, oh yeah, that's right. I have logic and data and I use reason and I don't need to feel scare. There you go. That's all I'm looking for. Whatever is best for you, go do it. Whether it's buying or selling or I don't care. Do whatever is best for you because I don't know what's best for you. But at least use logic and data and reason instead of lacking those things and then in a vacuum just having fear. That's not going to help you. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.